Hello and welcome to Main Street Matters by Heart on Main Street, the podcast that takes you to places that are in the middle of everything and far from ordinary. I am your host, Patrick Kaiser. Middle of April already, my how this year has flown by. A couple quick announcements before we jump into the meat of our show. I've recently reclassified this podcast, so if this is now being recommended to you based on your interests, welcome. Heart on Main Street is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping independent retailers thrive within their local communities. So I had previously classified this as a nonprofit podcast because, well, that made sense to me as I was building it out. However, most of our episodes feature on different downtowns I've visited and retailers I've met within my journeys. And talking about the town and its history, this is really more of a travel and places podcast, which I've reclassified it as. We will still have our monthly podcast dedicated to the most recent webinar we've conducted, which is information for retailers to help them grow their businesses. We are still having our monthly shop talk conversation with a new retailer as they open their store and grow their business. Currently, we are featuring Kara Poliner of the Ely Mercantile in Ely, Minnesota. We will learn a lot more about Ely over the next few months and even visit Ely to experience it firsthand. So honestly, nothing's changed, except this might be a new thing popping into your feed if you listen to other podcasts about travel in places. If this is new to you, check out some of our previous episodes on some of the cutest downtowns that I've traveled to. They are truly great travel destinations. Because of my travel limitations, those being that I run a nonprofit and don't have money to travel all across the country, we have been focusing on places within about 300 miles of Chicago where I live. But we have a running list of places I want to visit and have been invited to visit. So if you know of great downtown areas with fantastic independent retail shopping, let me know and we will make it a point to be there. You can email me at contact@heartonmainstreet.org. Speaking of webinars, which I'd kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, for my retailers out there, we have our next 4 webinars listed on heartonmainstreet.org/upcoming webinars that you can sign up for. In May, we are partnering again with Crystal Vilkaitis, who dear friend of Heart on Main Street and board member of Heart on Main Street, to talk about the newest craze, AI. I feel like this has been a main focus of just about every conference I've attended for the past year. It's such a hot topic, and Crystal has delved deep into this topic of how AI can be utilized to make retailers' lives easier. I can't wait to pick her brain about it. Like it or not, AI is here to stay, and we need to learn how to use it in the best possible way so that we can be the best possible versions of ourselves and run our businesses as efficiently as possible. Then this summer, we're going to have what we're calling our Summer Sourcing Series. A lot of S's there. There will be 3 webinars, June, July, and August. All of these will be focused on different ways that retailers can source products and the importance and benefits of each method. So we'll be talking about attending trade shows in June, working with a sales rep in July, and then using Fair.com in August. Sign up for all 3 to really get the most well-rounded experience and knowledge. Okay, enough announcements for today. Let's get into our content. Today, we're back out on the road visiting Monticello, Illinois. Monticello is a small rural community of about 6,000 residents that's located between Chicago, Indianapolis, and Springfield, Illinois. As a note, the town is pronounced Monticello, not Monticello, like Thomas Jefferson's estate. It took me quite a few times of saying Monticello and actually correcting myself into Monticello to really break that habit. And even after that, my brain still wanted to pop that ch sound back in. As Monticello's Main Street coordinator, Shelly Crawford Stock, said, Monticello is close to everything, but really far from ordinary as a community. When I'm in communities, I often try to meet with someone involved in the Chamber of Commerce, the Downtown Development Association, the Main Street Organization, or whatever similar apparatus that town happens to have. And if I'm on my game that day, I remember to record that conversation. My visit to Monticello happened to be one of those days that I was on my game. So I'd love to play my interview with Monticello's Main Street coordinator, Shelly Crawford Stock, for you so you can learn more about Monticello from someone who knows it intimately. So without further ado, here is Shelly Crawford Stock. All right, I am here with Shelly Crawford Stock, the executive director of the Main Street organization in Monticello. Shelly, thank you so much for joining me today.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you.
No, thank you so much. So can you tell me a little bit about Monticello?
Sure. Monticello is a small rural town in the middle of everything, as we like to say it. We're right in the middle of Bloomington, Champaign, and Decatur. We're also in the middle of Indy, Chicago, and St. Louis. So we're close to everything. But far from every day as a community is kind of one of our little sayings that we have. We just, town of 6,000, lucky to have some pretty awesome tourism highlights in terms of the Railway Museum, which brings 20,000 plus people to town a year, and Allerton Park, which is a University of Illinois owned property that is just 7 miles outside of town. It's a beautiful 14-acre wooded wonderland of trails. But formal gardens and a Tudor mansion, Tudor style mansion on it. And it's just gorgeous to go and enjoy your time as well. So we're very lucky. In addition, our downtown is its own tourism pole, where it is one of 3 historic districts in our community. Okay. So we're very lucky that we have had some pretty major investment in that building structure over time so that it's maintained and can serve commercial purposes. Yeah,
I saw some of the buildings being refurbished downtown. Yeah. So tell me about what the Main Street organization does from a standpoint of helping out the buildings, helping out the downtown area.
So one of the things that Main Street has worked very closely with the city on, we're great partners, is originally it was called a facade grant, and it was specific to facades. But in 2000, we did a major revamp of that in conjunction with the city. And it's now a building improvement grant. Oh, okay. And so it can be used for basically anything attached to the building. Okay. Yeah. So the positive is that our tenants who might do structure improvement can apply, as well as our building owners. It's a match of up to $10,000 on a project.
That's great.
And if they ask for more, we can take that to council and ask for more. We've not gone down that path too frequently, but we can. In some dire circumstances, we would. But that grant you see the benefit of it when you go into our downtown. Yes. It has done wonders in encouraging folks to do projects that maybe they've put off for a while. We laugh. Roofs aren't sexy, but we get very excited about a roof being replaced because that's how you maintain an older building for sure. You
don't want water coming in through the top, and you need those things.
Those are things that we used to not be able to do via a facade grant. So we made some adjustments, and so that's very exciting. That's one of the ways that we have facilitated. That is money that is through a separate tax in our downtown, and now our entire business corridor areas. It's paid through that tax, and we're reaping those rewards now.
Good. Yeah.
So that's a biggie.
It is a beautiful historic downtown, and so being able to keep those buildings there, that's really important.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's already a historic location. You want to maintain those structures so that you don't lose that. And that's not always easy. I have owned one of the buildings in the downtown in the past, and it's a labor of love.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that is rewarded in some way, shape, or form. And that's kind of where that grant came from. But we also we facilitated, you'll see, maybe not at this time of the year, but normally you would see a lot of flower pots out in the downtown. We have parklets in the summer with flower pots that outline those parklets as well. Those are all things that started from a Main Street initiative. They grew so big that the Main Street volunteer organization couldn't handle it, and the city staff took it over. So we have a whole beautification department at the city that does wonders with our flowers, our decorations, everything that happens in the downtown, and we facilitate them and support them in any way we can. Yeah. So those are kind of the things that Main Street focuses in on in terms of looks in the downtown. Yeah. The others are, fun events and
So tell me about some of the events that you all host and what the town does to bring other people in.
Sure. We do some main ones that are typical. So Whites of Spring is our first one coming up here at the first weekend of May. It is a wine walk.
Oh, fun.
So folks buy a ticket, and we will give them a map of all the places that they can go and grab a glass of wine while they do a little bit of shopping. And so we typically have 20 to 30 participating businesses in any one of those walks.
Yeah.
And then our Reds of Christmas also is basically the same thing, but it's red wine.
Reds. Yeah.
And it is done on the tradition, what we all don't like to refer to as Black Friday in small retail, right? But we do it on that night, and we sell that event out every year. So we have a great time with it. In between those two, we also, Monticello is a big homecoming town, which is abnormal, I think, for some communities, that we don't realize it because we grew up with it here. But we go all out, and we have a parade and lots of fun things going on. So we do a big, the school has the game. After the game, we have we have a band in the downtown and enjoy that. And we have some fun games for kids between the parade and the game. So we just have a good time with it and make it a big festival atmosphere when our high school has their homecoming. So those are our three biggies. And then every fourth Friday, we have either a music or art or something in the downtown. And we try to get the retailers to extend their hours so that we can do kind of a shop hop kind of a feel. And it's free. It's just, we make a map each time and publish it. There's no ticket to that. So
but it brings people in, and there's an event to go to. The stores are open late, so everyone really benefits from
Absolutely. That. We used to also do one in February called the Chocolate Fantasy. It was Valentine's Day focused. Yeah. We're going to morph that next year into more of a Galentine's kind of event. It fits our retailers a little bit better. And it will not be a ticketed event. It'll be a for fun. That's a tougher time for retailers, frankly, that January, February, March timeframe. So we just were finding it was an awful lot to ask them to invest in their part of that expense. So.
Galentine's Day, I've seen more and more communities doing things around that over the last couple of years.
Yes.
And
and we always did Chocolate Fantasy, but they had to invest in whatever the chocolate item was that they were giving away. That was we didn't charge for anyone to be in it. But that was their investment. And that's pretty pricey at a harder time of the year. Yeah. So we've kind of shifted that event. But
interesting. Good.
Yeah. So next year, we didn't have it this year, but we will next year.
Good. What are some of the other things you were talking before we started recording of just some other things that Monticello's doing?
Sure. Well, this year, we're looking forward to going through a transformation strategy process. So basically strategic planning with Main Street. We're looking forward to that because we're a community that's been a Main Street community since 1996. It's been a long time.
Great. Yeah.
We're a very different community than we were then. At that time, we had quite a bit of vacancy in our downtown structure. They were well maintained, but they were maybe not updated as they should have been at the time. Yeah. Our facades needed work, a lot of things. Yeah. But as you can see, we're past that. Right now, we have one unusable property vacant that needs to have work done to it. And it's in the plan. They're working on it as we speak. And we have one rentable space, and that's it. So as a result, we're just a very different community. So we need to replan for what.
Interesting. Yeah. Right.
So we
what you were doing 30 years ago doesn't.
It works, but it's not what we need to be doing today. Yeah. So we are looking forward to that because I think it will dictate a lot of our economic vitality focuses and how we approach those things. We try to make sure that our retailers and our building owners and invested parties get together and talk and communicate because frankly, that's how things get done these days. Frequently. And we do a lot of awards for our preservation buildings in town, not just the commercial properties, but also homes because of, like I mentioned, those other two historic districts, but there's also some pretty interesting architectural buildings in town. And so we do a lot of work with our historic preservation committee on awarding those folks to just recognize people that take care of their property, right? Yeah. And give them some kudos because if you do that, it's amazing how it translates to people being like, well, I want that award.
Exactly, right? Or brings people in to come view these houses.
Absolutely. And, you would be amazed at how many, we have walking tours booklets for each of our historic districts that give a little bit of history, not the whole history of each structure. You'd be amazed at how many of those I pass out in a year.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah. People want to see the grand, beautiful homes from the 1800s.
Or just know what,
yeah.
Was it a doctor? Was it a lawyer?
Yeah.
Was it a farmer? Which is pretty common in our area. But, who created this beautiful structure?
Yeah.
And so it's always interesting to see how many people want to grab those while they're here in town. So, yeah.
So as I'm going around town today and touring, where should I be going? What should I be looking out for? What stops should I make sure?
So for sure, I think I know you're already headed to Monticello Mercantile.
Yes.
Great little general shop with both women's and home and baby boutique, so you'll enjoy that.
Perfect.
You're also, I think, going to Simply JJ, one of our newer boutiques.
Wonderful.
She actually had some history in clothing merchandising, but not in a storefront scenario. And so, large space, beautiful. She does a great job with her merchandising. Tons of clothing in the back and a whole bunch of home and fun stuff in the front. And a great person. You're going to really enjoy meeting her.
Good.
I don't know everywhere else, but I would say...
bookstore.
Good.
With, yep.
Okay.
And I forget what other ones. But
So Hartfield is a great independent bookstore. Love it. We're lucky to have it. Not every community has an independent bookstore. They're also very involved in the community, which is just amazing. Yeah. So we love that. They're a part of a Sages Read program that combines with some of our teachers locally and encourages the community to read together. So they try to pick books for all ages, which is really, really cool. And then we also have a really cool large, Out of the Blue is the name of it, Out of the Blue Polish Pottery, large Polish pottery shop. They have a sister location in Indiana as well, and they're kind of a staple in our downtown. So be careful if you like Polish pottery, because
I might be going home with some.
I have to be careful. And then I don't know if you had a chance to reach out to Prairie Fire Glass. We're very lucky to have an Illinois-made business here in Monticello named Prairie Fire Glass that does his own hand-blown glass art pieces, and they're just gorgeous.
I love that.
Just gorgeous. So those would be the big ones that I can think of off the top of my head from a retail perspective. And then there's most people that come to town have heard of the Brown Bag.
Okay,
which,
I saw it on
Yeah, it is a amazing little deli store that has soups, salads, sandwiches. Been here since 1976.
Wow.
The daughter has taken over from her mom, and they also feature desserts from Pies by Ingy, which is another local business, and have for years. And so people either are coming for Brown Bag or they want the pie. One of the two.
Yeah.
But
I'll probably try both.
Yeah, and we have a few other restaurants in town that are amazing too. Not to downgrade them. Right. That was the one that a lot of people, when they come to town, already have heard about from some friend or another, because they've been here for forever. But we've got Main Street Pub and Three Ravens are two of our pub style. We've got a couple great Mexican restaurants in town. We're really lucky, frankly, really nice. For a community of our size. Not to mention Subway, Dairy, all the normal ones,
have a good diversity of places for people.
Absolutely, and we have our Filippo's has also been in town forever. And if they aren't coming for Brown Bag, they're coming for Filippo's Pizza.
Oh, okay.
So, so it's one of the two. They've been around for forever. They're both amazing. So we're pretty lucky. Well,
Shelly, I'm excited to explore the town today. Thank you so much for having me come in and talking with me. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
It was so great meeting Shelly and learning more about Monticello before I started my exploration of the town. You generally don't think of small communities like Monticello as tourist destinations, but Monticello is really not your typical small town. The Monticello Railway Museum allows visitors to step back in time and ride steam engine-led vintage rail cars from the museum into the downtown. And then they have events like Mother's Day dinners and Murder Mystery Theater, and then the Polar Express. And these things bring in over 20,000 people to the museum annually. The fun and inventive use of the rail system in Monticello is the perfect thing for families and railway enthusiasts alike.
Additionally, as Shelly mentioned, immediately outside Monticello is Allerton Park, this 14-acre wooded wonderland full of hiking trails and gardens for outdoor activities. I drove by it, I visited Allerton Park, it really is beautiful. And then all of this to say nothing about the downtown area itself, which is its own tourist destination. The town has a historic downtown district dating back to the 1800s. Set on a town square structure, restaurants and retailers surround this beautiful county courthouse, which really centralizes the commercial area and allows even more businesses to develop on the streets adjacent to the square. I love town square structures. Generally, they're set in towns that are the head of the county or where the county seat lies, where you have the county courthouse. But it just really makes this beautiful central point for the town to be surrounded by and rally around. Generally, there's a park or greenery surrounding the county courthouse or whatever building lies in the middle. And so it just really creates a really fun element that the whole town can build around. One business that I met with that was actually on a street adjacent to the town square was the Monticello Mercantile. Its owner, Kelly McFarland, started the Monticello Mercantile as a pop-up shop in her hometown in 2016. Like many retailers, Kelly did not have a background in owning retail, but had always really dreamed of doing so. With success of her pop-up, Kelly quickly expanded the business into one of Monticello's historic residences that has turned into a commercial property that can be found just off the square. Today, the Monticello Mercantile is a one-stop shop for women's clothing, baby and kids items, and gifts really of all sorts. They carry locally made items and national brands, and have these products displayed within home decor pieces that reflect the building's history as a former residence. It's really interesting to see antique furniture from this historic old home filled with modern products and locally made things that show the duality of old and new that you can find all throughout Monticello and in the Monticello Mercantile as well. One new business that I met with was Simply JJ's on the Square, which is, as its name indicates, on the square. Simply JJ's started out as an online-only clothing boutique, but after 8 years, they opened up their own brick-and-mortar location in a gorgeous historic building in September of 2023. The new location has expanded beyond children's clothes and offers apparel, gifts, jewelry, accessories, and home goods. But in addition to the new physical location, the store's owner, Jennifer Johns, JJ, has been able to remain true to her roots with the online sales. Jennifer and her team have capitalized on live virtual selling to sell through Facebook and expand their customer base to all 50 states. So while she isn't really a true brand new retailer, she's had this business for 8 years, but to bring it into the brick and mortar and be able to have a reach like that from a small town like Monticello, it's really interesting to see this business model from a new brick and mortar. Like any new retailer, she is going through growing pains and learning how to grow her business within her town and grow foot traffic and her hours of operation. I loved seeing the development of having her online store and her brick and mortar and how those two blend together. Again, there's this duality within Monticello of the old and the new, and having a historic area that is transforming itself into a modern commercial district. My last stop of the day was at Hartfield Book Company, an independent bookstore on the town square. I've spoken before about my love for independent bookstores. I spent many hours in them as a child and adolescent, finding the right books for me that piqued my interests and inspired my imagination. I strongly believe that the demise of independent bookstores is one of the great tragedies of the 21st century in our country. So to see stores like Hartfield, which is not a 75-year-old staple of the community that has existed from a previous era and is able to hang on because it's a town institution, but rather it's a store that has been in Monticello for 5 years. This gives me hope for a new wave of indie bookstores.
Hartfield has really done a wonderful job of integrating itself into the community. They have partnered with local schools to set up programs that encourage kids to read and give out prizes for those who reach certain levels of reading throughout the year. They also host book clubs for the community to participate in twice a month. And an element that I really loved was a nice, quiet reading room where people can come in and relax and read while in the store. For a newer store, they've done a great job of integrating themselves into the community. Monticello is a town that has surprises for visitors around every corner. Their town motto of being in the middle of everything and far from every day is evident in how the town can be a tourist destination and develop unique businesses in an area where many would deem it unlikely. I was also really impressed by the dualities present within the town: modern stores and old buildings, online and in-person shopping experiences, retail genres succeeding in an atmosphere unkind to others like it. Monticello proves that you can be a small town and still help your Main Street thrive. Next week, we will feature our conversation from our most recent webinar where I spoke with Heather Ingersoll of Hometown Insurance about retailers' insurance needs. In this conversation, we focused on things that retailers need to know about insurance to ensure that they are covered in the event of a disaster. As some of you may know, a focus of Heart on Main Street is to help out retailers who have lost their store due to natural disasters. And in each case where we have provided aid, there has been some issue with insurance along the way. So I see this as an important conversation for retailers to become more aware of how to be more knowledgeable about their insurance and how to make sure that they are protected. I hope you all have enjoyed this episode as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. For more information about Heart on Main Street, you can go to www.heartonmainstreet.org. This episode was written, produced, researched, and edited by me, Patrick Kaiser, with a special thanks to Shelly Crawford Stock of the Monticello Main Street Organization. Stay safe, have a great weekend, shop local, and I'll see you all next time.